So Francesca, you've obviously been coming to us for a while and you've had a few treatments done, but it's quite slow going with your skin. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go back through your history. I'm going to look at your notes and I want you to give me an overview of what your skin's been doing sort of in the last 6 months.
Okay.
So that I can try and see if we can come up with a slightly different plan for it.
Back in October, that's when my skin like completely flared up, and it was a little bit, I guess, out of the blue. The spots were kind of completely different than I've ever had before, so they felt like a lot deeper. They were all around my jawline, like in my cheeks, like kind of going up to my forehead area, and they were aggressively getting worse. I couldn't really cover them with makeup. Also, the skin would split a lot, if that makes sense. So I guess where it wasn't healing, or because they were kind of so, they would have quite big whiteheads on them, you'd need to like extract them, and then they didn't have, I guess, enough time to heal, because I work full time, so I wear like a full face of makeup every day. And I guess since starting the treatments, this is my 6th one, and as you can see, my skin's like a lot flatter now. Like the breakouts aren't, I still have breakouts, but they aren't as severe as they were. I guess there's a lot of marking on my skin, especially kind of in this area, so my cheeks and my jawline. Okay, so I had, first of all, she completely cleansed everything, took all of my makeup off because I wear quite a full coverage foundation, mainly because I've got a lot of active acne at the moment. She then used the hydrofacial on my skin, which basically sucks all of like the blackheads and gunk out of your skin, and it just feels really cooling. It's quite soothing on the skin, and you really don't feel anything at all. The last thing the therapist will do is use non-ablative lasers on my skin, which again, she will adjust the heat or strength of the laser to what I feel comfortable with, because the higher it goes, the more painful it can be. And especially on active acne, when they're going over your active acne, it tends to be quite hot and it can feel quite prickly. But to be honest, for me, it's something that I do tend to have quite a high pain threshold with these things, so it's not something that is too uncomfortable. And again, it really doesn't last long at all. But what she'll do is she'll go around each spot, like around it and then in the middle. And honestly, like the difference in the morning the next day, the spot will be so reduced in size, or it will like help it come to a head. I find that especially with lasers, you find you will have like an instant, the next morning your skin will look so much better, even though it might be quite painful at the time. I would say in terms of a laser, depending on what laser it is, it can be quite hot. So I would, just a really small pinch of the skin. To be honest, I don't think it's anything worse than that. It is like a small pinch. I think with the laser, because it's so fast, it's such a fast treatment as well. Like the therapist will go over your face within like 10 minutes and move on to the next stage of the treatment. So even though it is similar to like a slight pinch or a flick of an elastic band, it really disappears within a matter of seconds. I wouldn't say I have any immediate reactions. Obviously, if a therapist is doing extractions, you will see that on your skin. You know, there will be some marks on your skin, and the lasers will make your skin a little bit red, but in general, I don't have any major reactions to any treatments. The therapist will always ask what kind of level of strength of peel that I want. So for example, she'll say, do you want to peel, like, are you okay with peeling quite heavily over the next 3 to 4 days, or are you okay with peeling, do you just want a light peel? So depending on what kind of week I've got planned, I'll just decide what kind of peel. I decided to go for the stronger peel this time just because my skin has been quite bad, so I wanted to get like the maximum strength out of my treatment. The peel itself does sting when it goes onto the skin. It can be quite uncomfortable, but it only stings for like a minute, and the only thing that you need to remember to do is wash it off. Sometimes it will be before you go to bed or when you wake up in the morning. Everyone is really welcoming. I think especially when you have quite a severe skin condition, you do have like some nervousness or reservations, but to be honest, like the therapists are just absolutely so welcoming, friendly, and just really down to earth, and feel like you walk out knowing someone a lot better and almost a friend. So yeah, a really lovely atmosphere. So I visited the clinic 2 weeks ago, and my skin since then, it's been a little bit up and down. So the first week I did have quite a major breakout, even though I did have some, I think the therapist put about 3 different peels on my skin. I didn't have any dryness or peeling. It was more, my acne did actually just become quite sore, and it did, a lot of spots did form. Once I kind of recovered from that, I've noticed my skin has become a lot flatter. It's not as raised, but there is still quite a lot of redness there. First of all, we started with the IPL laser with a blue light, so it was more antibacterial. The therapist decided to make it a stronger laser this time compared to a couple of weeks ago, so I definitely felt it. It stung a lot more. However, she did put a layer, like quite a thick layer of gel between my skin and the laser, so it absorbed a lot of that heat. So that was the first laser she used. The second laser was the resurfacing laser, which she just did a patch test to see how my skin would react. It was quite an intense laser. I would say it has a cold feeling at first, and then it's a little bit like a freezer burn, like an ice burn. But again, it's similar to all of the other lasers. It's not very, it doesn't hurt for a very long time. It's very short, and as soon as it's off the skin, you don't feel anything at all. Just maybe a little bit tingly. Then we went on to use the Photoner laser for the antibacterial properties. That's just quite hot, not painful at all, and quite relaxing after the other lasers. And then we used a collagen boosting laser, which is again really similar to the antibacterial one. It's just quite a lot of heat. After that, we did some red light and some blue light. So again, they're quite cold, like cooling after all of the lasers, quite relaxing, and it just helps to bring some of the redness down. And I think to finish it off, we used some vitamin C serum. My skin, first of all, it did break out. I think the spots were forming probably before the treatment, and then after the treatment I did find that I had a breakout, but it wasn't as bad as it normally is. It stayed in the same areas on the skin, and I continued to use the Balance Moisturiser and the PCA Acne Gel at night, just a thin layer all over the skin, and I use the Medik8 Surface Cleanser as a gel cleanser just to get all of my makeup off, and then apple cider vinegar as a toner. And I find that that has worked quite well this week. Once my breakouts died down, I do find that my skin feels a lot flatter, and the redness is still there, but again, it is a lot flatter by the end of the week. There's no new spots. I've been given the Calmwise Soothing Cleanser to remove makeup, but I can use it morning and night. I've also been given the Hydrate Serum, which is more of a hydrating, thicker serum, which I'm going to try and use in the evening, along with the Calmwise Soothing Serum, which apparently is a lot nicer to use in the morning. Alongside that, the Balanced Moisturiser, along with the Glycolic serum that comes with that, which will be 2 to 3 times a week. I think I did notice a difference from the Oxygenetix. In my makeup it's not sitting as it normally would on my skin, so I did notice that my pores maybe showed up in certain areas, but that might be just because it's a different product on my skin. But I do think it has definitely helped to control the breakouts, and you feel a lot better having something underneath your like normal foundation anyway to help protect your skin. So yeah, it has worked really well so far. Even though here is really red, it's got a lot of scarring. I do feel like there is a difference even after two treatments.